So, sir, one question on the tangent, only if it is relevant, if you find it relevant. When we Google something or we put a certain search term in the search engine on the internet,
Right.
is it so that the index journals or the content of the index journal ranks higher? I'm not sure whether this
No,
is.
okay, this is actually a very good question.
Ah.
Most people say that we are a part of Google Scholar. Now, Google Scholar is a part of Google which we use for scholarly articles. You don't use Google for random search for your scholarly articles. So there is Google Scholar. Now, Google Scholar is not an indexing agency, but it is a repository. So a journal which is published in any science, or for that matter, why only medical sciences, all the other sciences and even literary areas, Google Scholar takes all those articles and puts it into the repository. So if I am a student or I am a researcher who is looking for it, I would find Google Scholar is my advantage because it gives me a lot more articles to refer from. But that is also its biggest plus point. Also, it is negative point because there is too much of data which comes to me. But Google Scholar is not an indexing agency; it's a repository. So now, say if you use, we all use Google as a search engine, but then most of us are not bothered about what is happening or what is the data being collected or whatever reasons which are there. So we are most comfortable with it. There are certain people who have preference of using Bing as a search engine. There are certain people who use Safari, the Apple's engine, or some people who use DuckDuckGo. Now, why does somebody use DuckDuckGo? And you ask them, what is your preference? It's all individual preferences, and all of them are good. At the end, so far, for a normal people like us, anything is fine, which as long as it gives us our what we are looking for. Now, somebody would say DuckDuckGo privacy levels are much better. Not that Google does not have them, but then you do not, the ads are not targeted, or so people have preferences. Now, when I am referring to Google, Google gives me a lot of data, but it is not an indexing agency, it's a repository. So having a journal being a part of it's in the abstract is a part of Google Scholar. So if you look at our journal website also, JISH is abstract in Google Scholar. So you will find JISH articles existing in Google Scholar when you put a search in Google Scholar, but it is not an indexing agency because Google Scholar does not go too much of the standards or the quality. You're a journal, you're doing this certain amount of things, you have a certain statutory need of a number, or the ISSN number, or you're recognized, you're a valid publication, they will put it into your repository. So that is where it ends.
So basically, Google Scholar is a different website where you need to go to that website and search within that search engine. Like
yes. So if you have a Google page, you can go to Google Scholar. You can there is a section when you drop over there. So it's like a separate search engine for scholarly articles. So you will not get movie tickets or around me, but it will only be for your scholarly articles in all the fields which is there.
So this is interesting. Tell me how many of you already knew this, because common mistakes as a doctor when I do now I recall is that when I want to search some reference for a scientific article, I just go to the Google search engine and search, and then I am at loss. Why am I not able to get that article? Probably I was searching in the wrong place.
Right. So yes, possibly most of us do that. It's accessible, so we don't need to go to Google Scholar and we do that. But yeah, the Google Scholar will give you all the scholarly articles from various sources. So that's a much better way of referring them also.